So I think at this point I'm known for mixing video games and science, especially focusing on biology and ecology. I've told you what species of seal the TF2 seal was, I've looked at the environmental disaster of Half-Life 2, and I've gone on scientific expeditions into various games to identify as many creatures as possible using the algorithm-driven app iNaturalist, which can identify species based on photos. Normally, people use iNaturalist to identify things like butterflies they find in their backyard or seashells they find on the beach. But I guess I'm just built different. Last time I used iNaturalist to identify species in Fallout New Vegas, with some success. But last night I got bored and wanted to see just how far I could push the app before it broke. So now I present to you an absolute failure of science, using iNaturalist to identify monsters in Slay the Spire. Now, you might be asking yourself why I would do this utterly pointless thing and make a video about it. Well, my friend, we all do things in life which we eventually come to regret. So, without further ado, let's get this run started. I of course am playing as the defect because I am a man who enjoys pondering the occasional orb. So the first enemy I encountered was the jawworm. I thought that this enemy might yield interesting results in iNaturalist because it does kind of look like a lizard or maybe a tadpole. You know, at first iNaturalist couldn't get a good read on this animal, but it eventually settled on it either being a western gray squirrel, a Virginia possum, a veiled chameleon, or a domestic cat. Now, I personally would lean towards veiled chameleon being its best guess, considering this jawworm kind of looks vaguely reptilian. I really have no idea where the squirrel or possum came from, but of course we are working with 2D highly stylized drawings here, which iNaturalist really isn't meant to use, so at least it recognized that it could be some kind of animal. I did worry, and you'll see later that iNaturalist, when it's confronted with some things, just won't give any guess at all to what kind of animal it is. Up next, we encountered a cultist. As you can see, the cultist is kind of human-like, so I wondered if it would pick up on that, but it does have a bird head, so that's another option that iNaturalist could look into. And iNaturalist actually did pick up on the bird, either considering it to be a budgie or an American robin. So up next I encountered my first elite fight, and these were the 3 sentries. Now I wondered what iNaturalist would do with these, considering these are probably so far the least animal-like things that I've encountered in the game. I did wonder if maybe it would think it was a phytoplankton. It does kind of have a weird, maybe plankton or bacteria type shape to it, so I did wonder if iNaturalist would pick up on that. Unfortunately, iNaturalist just thought that it was a human, which I think is just something that iNaturalist puts up when it realizes that you're uploading something that shouldn't be uploaded to the site, which is fair enough in this case. Up next, I encountered some slimes, and iNaturalist really didn't have anything to say about the slimes. Up next, I encountered a very human-like character known as the Slaver. He has a weird spear weapon, which I wondered might throw off iNaturalist, but nope, it realized it was a human, and, well, I kind of agree with it at that point. Then I encountered the louses, and I thought these would be interesting because I figured iNaturalist might be able to identify them as some kind of insect. However, the green one brought up some plant identifications, so I guess it was just going off the fact that it saw green and it was like, okay, it's a plant. And then the red and yellow one didn't bring up anything at all. Unfortunately, I decided to play on a higher ascension level and I wasn't really paying attention to the game. So the run ended, I believe, when I encountered this mushroom rat, which I was hoping iNaturalist would identify as something, but it didn't give any results, and because I was so focused on identifying the creatures in this game, I ended up dying quite quickly. Anyways, thanks for watching this strange and pointless exercise in pseudoscience. I hope you enjoyed, and please subscribe for more weird videos every once in a while.